Alright, so today is the day. Start going through my physical music collection once again. It's the first thing I ever did on my channel, and I'm doing it again, but in a little bit different light this time, and a bit more confident than I used to be about it. I want to go through, I've got 9 albums to start today. My vinyl collection, my record collection, my LPs, whatever you want to call them, 33 1/3, 12 inches, full lengths, all those things. So I've got 9 here today. It's the beginning. Some of these are probably some of the most essential in my collection. I've kind of figured out how I'm going to space them out. So this is the first video. This is the beginning of my collection. I have them kind of in a wonky order. Probably be wonky to most people, and I just have them in alphabetical order or anything like that. They kind of just, the sorting makes sense to me. So, and I'll probably change the sorting eventually again, but we'll see. But first album, this is one of the first albums I ever really remember listening to on vinyl when I got into it. It's been over 6 years at this point that I started collecting records. I had been collecting CDs and such a lot before that for like my whole life, but this one I really dug into getting records, and I fell into a hole a bit. When I first started, I got a shit ton of them and ended up having probably like 500 at one point, honestly, but now I've come down to probably under 100. Is probably what I have at this point. I should have counted all of them, but I'm pretty sure it's under 100. I'm almost positive it's under 100 records now. So I'm all about the quality over quantity now, but I've had a shit ton in the past. But first album I'm talking about today, I'll scoot over this way a little bit. It's Joy Division, Closer. Let me try to adjust this a little bit. See if I can make it fit in the frame a little better. Maybe turn it a little bit. Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, like I said, probably the first album I really remember listening to and getting when I first started collecting albums. I love this album. I love both the Joy Division albums. This one has a very different feel and not very different, but quite different than the first album. It feels more mature, I'd say. Here's the inner sleeve. Just got the tracks for each side. And it's a heavyweight one. It's probably like a 180 gram. But you can see the basic sensor there. It's a 2015 repress, it looks like, of this. It's cool. But one of my most essential, one I'm always going to hold on to, and I've held on to since the very beginning. It's one of the first records I ever owned, and I still love turning this on. I love going back and listening to records that I really got into when I first started collecting them, and those are the ones I mostly gravitate towards listening to on vinyl and such. Next, getting into is kind of a bit of a trilogy here for me. And the first one here is you're talking about The Cure. This is their second album, 17 Seconds. Really like this album. And this is the beginning, like I said, beginning of a trilogy in my eyes. I really love this album cover. It's very beautiful, and that was a big thing when I got into records, was getting the big album artwork and such. I love the red, and then it's just nice. And then the back of it is nice as well. Got the tracks there. Well, it's very minimal album, very minimal, just post-punk, minimal wave kind of sound. It's very early. This came out in 1980, same year as the last album I just showed. I like this red and black. I love the artwork on these first few Cure albums. They're really cool. Basic black vinyl, repress of it. I don't remember what year this was. Let me see if it says on here. 2016 repress, I guess, of this. There's the center. This is cool. I like it. High quality LP as well. But I remember like really getting into these albums when I started collecting them, because I got really interested in The Cure around that time, and just wanted to this is a perfect format to have these on. So that's that. And now the one after that, their third album, which is Faith. Really enjoy having this one as well. And this gets more into the they had a pretty dark sound on the 17 seconds. Well, there's like a little bit more going on here. It sounds a little bit more like produced, I guess. I really enjoyed this album too, and it's very minimal cover. Just like I guess it's some type of building here, but I've always seen a face here for some reason. Like I feel like this is like a closed eyelid, and this is like kind of like forms like a nose and a mouth down here, the grass, but I know it's not. That's not what it is, but that's what I've always seen, and I can't unsee it. So, and the black and white and like gray scale kind of like matches the vibe of this album as well, and like the album artwork on the last one really matches it as well in 17 seconds. But really like this album. Very super minimal packaging and such. I'm pretty sure this is probably a 2016. This one says 2005, but I don't know if that was specifically when this one was repressed or not. But really cool. I honestly kind of gravitate towards having black vinyl a lot. I kind of just like the plain black vinyl on a lot of my stuff. I do have some color variants, but I mostly kind of just gravitate towards the plain black. I just kind of like it. It's just like the original, very simple. And now my favorite Cure album that ends the trilogy, and that's Pornography. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. Love the shit out of this album. Just perfection in my eyes. Had this for a very long time. It's very towards the beginning. Had it since the beginning, so I'm gonna get this thing out of the way a little bit. It's probably gonna come back, but hopefully it'll stay out of the way. But love the album artwork, love every song on here. I love those other two albums too, but this one is just like them like hitting that like peak sound for me that I liked in that early stuff. And I love the artwork that goes along with it, and it's just kind of creepy and weird looking. It just really fits the vibe of the album. And this one actually has a little lyric sheet on it. And I remember sitting and listening and reading the lyric at the same time back in like the summer of 2020, like August or something of 2020. I remember just specifically sitting in my old room and the light coming in and just listening to this and getting very intrigued by it. I didn't like it that much at first. I gravitated more towards the 17 seconds album initially, but then this one like really grew on me. And there's the center there, black LP, and the artwork here again, just interesting looking. Really like it. My favorite Cure album, my favorite albums of all time, favorite like goth post-punk albums of all time. Just amazing sounding. It's so cool sounding. I just love this album. Amazing, perfect, like goth post-punk dark wave kind of album. It's really cool. And now another favorite album of all time, probably my favorite album of all time, low-key, high-key. I love this fucking album. Talked about it on my channel before. And that, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, Architecture and Morality. I love the fucking shit out of this album. I've mostly listened to it in this format as well. I love the simple artwork on it and the yellow sleeve and just like the text on it. It's just very satisfying to me. And they are on the back. Just literally just a perfect synth pop album in my opinion. Just perfect. Like there's just the perfect amount of like experimentation, like these wonky sounds, and just like I love this album so much. It's just fucking incredible. Fucking incredible. This is a pretty early pressing of this. Here's like the inner sleeve and all that. But I've got the vinyl here. And I've listened to this so many goddamn times. It's crazy. Like, just, I've spun this thing on so many fucking times. Still plays amazingly. But I love this album so much. Really just fucking love this album. Amazing synth pop. Just really doesn't get better than this one, in my opinion. I just love every aspect of it. And it just brings me such a great deal of comfort when I listen to it, and just like awe, and just like, I don't know, it's just fucking amazing. The next one, another one I've spun a ton of times, like insane amount of times. These are just like some of my like most listened to records in my whole collection. Like, that's why they're like at the beginnings. They're like the most like important to me, and the most like important like in this format to me. David Bowie, Low. The first of the Berlin trilogy. The first of the two that came out in 1977. This is probably my favorite of the Berlin trilogy. I'm saying that right now. It goes in between this and the next one. But I've spun this album so many times. This is like a pretty early pressing of this too. And it just brings me such a great deal of comfort. And like the orange cover, I used to sit in my room with like kind of like an orangish light at night and would listen to this, so it like fit that as well. But just the like art, like the art pop kind of songs, art rock songs on the first side, and then like the instrumental like ambient stuff on the second side is like what helped me fall in love with ambient. And it's another album like I didn't really love that much at first when I first got into it, but then I've just like completely fallen like head over heels for this album. And we have the LP here. Just have it in the sleeve, this little like thing, and there's like the classic like RCA thing there. And yeah, it's fucking awesome. Fucking love this album. This actually has this like original inner sleeve in it as well, which is pretty cool. This paper inner sleeve, it has just like the credits for each song on it, which is really cool. I really like having this too. It's a really cool relic to have. I love when stuff comes with that. And I love when it's like I really like old albums too, like some like these that like have the original stuff in it. I just think that's really nifty. I just really like having that. And I just love, that's another thing about like collecting vinyl records in particular, is just the stuff that comes with it, like the big sheets and stuff. I mean, other stuff comes with stuff too, but like it's really cool, and like that big form, big artwork. And then the next one in the Berlin trilogy is Heroes. Listen to the shit out of this as well. Heroes is one of my favorite songs of all time. Very popular song, but I really love that song. And this whole album is just amazing. Like the art rock songs, and the smell of this thing. It's just like the old albums, like a really early, like probably pressed in 77, I'm pretty sure. In the US, it's a US version of it. But I love this album. The art rock on the first side, and then the ambient is like, I probably like the ambient even more than on Low on this album. It's just very, very awesome. I just love the fucking songs. They're so cool. Like Sense of Doubt, Moss Garden, and New Calm, like those songs, that like trilogy of songs is just fucking incredible, and the way they flow into each other, it's just like, I fucking love that shit. That shit is amazing. But love it. Love, these are definitely my favorite 2 David Bowie albums ever. He had a vast array of things in his career, and he was a true artist in my eyes. And I loved him and his music, and really cool stuff. And of course, he was working with Brian Eno on these as well, with the ambient stuff. And Eno started getting into his ambient stuff soon after that. He released his first ambient album the year after. Now, this kind of goes along with the last 2 albums. It's the same type of thing. And yeah, we'll get into that. But Iggy Pop, The Idiot, Listen to the shit out of this as well. This is a Japanese pressing, actually. It's pretty cool that I got in good condition pretty early. This also came out in 77. He was working with David Bowie. They both were in Berlin at the time. And this is the only Iggy Pop album I really go back to besides the Stooges stuff. And I just love this album. And I really got into this too because I was really into Joy Division, like at the end of 2019. And of course, Ian Curtis of Joy Division was very much into this album and just Iggy Pop. And he was into the David Bowie albums too, but Ian Curtis specifically listened to this album in full right before he killed himself in 1980. So that had like significance to me when I heard about that. And I've listened to this a ton, and this reminds me of when I did a painting project, one of my biggest painting projects, painting in like an interior of a house. And that was in 2020, early 2020, right around the same time I started collecting albums. And I was painting, this was like right before COVID happened, like February. And I would paint like that whole week. I would like paint. I would take a break in the middle of the day, and then I would go back and like paint for a few more hours, and I'd come home and I'd listen to this album like almost every single day, like clockwork, and then I would go to sleep, and then I would do the same thing like for like almost 7 days straight. So that's like very memorable at that time. You've got all the lyrics on the back here, which is interesting. We've got the inside here. You can see here's a little sleeve here, and you can see it's like the Japanese, all the back here, so all the kanji and such on the back, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little relic to have. It just has all the track names and such on it. And then we've got the LP here, and just your basic kind of center, like yellow RCA. It's really cool. Really love having these old albums. Like I said, it's so cool. But this album is fucking amazing, and I really think this is like a 10 out of 10 album. I've just like really never gravitated towards any of Iggy Pop's other stuff, but this is like, it's such a cool sound. This is his first solo album. And there's David Bowie's all over this, of course, too. David Bowie even has some vocals on here. But I just love this album. I just love the atmosphere of it. It's really fun and just interesting sounding. And people say it's like the first post-punk album too, and like of course Iggy Pop kind of like, it's like the godfather to punk music. He started like with proto-punk, like he was big in that, and then did this as kind of the first like post-punk-ish kind of album. And it really influenced what became post-punk in the following years. So it's really fucking cool. Love that album. The last one I want to talk about, one I've been listening to a lot recently too. Again, I've just been really enjoying it. My wife and I have been enjoying listening to it together. And it reminds me of that time as well, like probably like the summer, like late summer of 2020. I was listening to it a lot. And that is Tom Verlaine with a self-titled album. This is my favorite of Tom Verlaine. I've never really listened too much to like television either. I've never really like gravitated towards the television albums, but I love this album so much. It's his first solo album, self-titled debut. I love the album artwork, the red kind of hue in the background, and I just love it. It's very simple, and here's the back cover. But this is just such a fun, like wonky, goofy ass album, and I just love that so much about it. It's just so goofy. And here's the inner sleeve here, and just has the track and the credits on the back. I actually stumbled across this album because I had heard of Television in the past, but like I said, I never really listened to them. But here, let me show this real quick, and then I'll get into that. But here's the LP. It's got a red tag on it, which is fucking awesome. I love the color red. But as I was saying, how I discovered this Tom Verlaine album is and I was really into David Bowie in 2020, of course. And on David Bowie's Scary Monsters and Super Creeps album, which was the album I was listening to a lot, the time as well, he did a cover of Kingdom Come, which is on this album. And I really liked David Bowie's version, and then I just I didn't even realize it was a cover for a while, and then I wanted to listen to the original, and then I found this album, and I just really love this album now. Like, it's so fun and wonky, especially the first side. You got Mr. Bingo and Yonky Time. Like, those songs are so fun and wonky, and my wife and I are always like referencing Yonky Time all the time. Like, you know what time it is? What time is it anyways? And we just always do the Yonky Time and shit, and it's like, I think I'm gonna go for a walk now. Like, all that shit. That's like, I love that fucking shit. It's so fun and goofy. And the second side is really good too. I've like fallen more and more in love with this, coming back to it in like recent while. So fucking awesome. But this is a good pressing. This is a really good condition, like older pressing of this too, which is really fucking cool. Love having it. I love when people used to take care of their albums, and you can still keep like these old ones. Like, it's really fucking cool. They're still in good condition. Such a cool thing to me. I love older shit. But that is volume 1 of my vinyl collection. An Autistic Individuals music collection, part 1, number 1. I have a lot to go. Gonna try to go through them slow like that. When I originally did them, I just like showed the albums and put them to the side and shit. And I want to like go through them and show them and stuff. That I feel like that's better and just more thorough and just like more appreciating it. So stay tuned for more. I'm gonna keep going through them, and then I'm gonna go through CDs and my cassettes and all that kind of stuff. So excited to keep doing those. So if you like that stuff, cool. This is was my original idea for YouTube, connecting with people who like music. And I'm a really big metal person, which is interesting. I didn't talk about any metal albums here. I don't collect a lot of metal albums on vinyl, and I might make a whole separate video about that. Why? But like, the majority of the rest of my music collection, like CDs and tapes and stuff, is metal. I do have a few metal albums that I do have on vinyl that I'll get to later, but just not something I like to listen to on this format as much. So this is my other tastes in music here are on vinyl. Specific things I like to listen to that I think fit well. So like I said, I'll get into that later, but I'm rambling now. So thanks. See you next time. Later. Bye.